Next up on the show, a familiar guest for In the Money Media and In the Money Plus and Redboard Rewind. You see him a lot on the In the Money Media Network. You also see him a lot in winner's circles and on contest leaderboards, including his recent big hit at the Grade 1 Gamble at Keeneland from 10 Strike Racing. He's Clay Sanders. Clay, you're riding high, my man.
Yeah, it was a fun weekend at Keeneland last week, and hope to keep it rolling.
Well, the last time you were on our airwaves with me talking about races that were yet to happen was for Arkansas Derby Day, and you made a pretty nice case that Just Steel was a live item to hit the board. He ran second at 30-odd to 1. He's going to be coming back in the Kentucky Derby. Was last time the time, or is this a horse you still have some interest in?
Well, I mean, I think last time was the time because we were getting 30 to 1 in a field that he made a lot of sense in. I hit that trifecta. I wasn't a big fan of Muth in that race and was wrong, but I was at least smart enough to include on top. He was against his last two races at Oaklawn. In the last race, in the Rebel, he was in the parking lot. And you can't win at Oaklawn if you're 5 wide on the first turn. The race before, the inside was that really big inside rail. He ran second to Mystic Dan. It was a good race. You know how the coach is. He keeps bringing him along slowly but surely. They dance every dance. Will be his 11th start of his career. Some of these horses will be their third or fourth start. You know, he's got some seasoning. He's a justified. The distance should be fine. I think he's got a live shot at, in Europe, he's 40 to 1. I mean, I think he can get it done.
I've heard other Sharpies besides you make this case. And Nick Tamaro, when he did his estimated morning line, that's a video you can find elsewhere here on the In the Money YouTube channel, thought he could be as short as 20, but probably would be more like 30. You'd be interested at those odds, though, still?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to cut in line to bet him at 20 to 1, but he'll be on tickets. If you cover up fierceness in this race, the rest of these are all pretty slow horses. So his, what was he, 98 last race? Or no, excuse me, 96-ish. I think he fits it. I think he fits in here. And look, if you covered up Muth in the Arkansas Derby, or, if he couldn't get in, if Arkansas had the same rules as the Kentucky Derby, he'd be coming in off a Arkansas Derby win where he won by 4.5 over another horse in the race, Mystic Dan. What's wrong with that resume compared to a lot of these others?
These mini pods are brought to you by Free Reign Coffee Company. They've been powering the In the Money team throughout the Triple Crown prep season, and the coffee is fantastic. Whether you're looking for whole beans, grounds, or pods, Free Reign give you what you need to get up and get after it. And they've got subscriptions available too, so you never run out. Use our promo code MONEY20 for a 20% discount site-wide over at freereigncoffee.com. During Kentucky Derby week, you can get $10 money back if your win selection runs second or third. For all the information, check out twinspires.com. I want to go back to that idea of his seasoning. 20-horse test, big crazy circumstances there under the Twin Spires. Could that be a sneaky advantage that he has, that he's not one of these unexposed, barely been out of the barn types? I mean, this guy's been around the block.
No, certainly. I think that seasoning matters in a race like the Derby. He's used to big crowds. He's used to big fields, bumping around. The only concern I would have is this is a horse that's been 4 wide, 5 wide his last 3 starts. You can't do that in this 20-horse field and expect to win. Maybe you can get a check, but, some of that might be circumstances. He's had some outside posts. I'd be interested if he could, draw a little bit more inside, tuck in a little bit. But, I think it makes sense. The seasoning will help.
We've got a lot of new people who watch these YouTube videos who might honestly not even really be that familiar with D. Wayne Lucas, one of the legends of the sport. What would it mean in terms of Lucas getting back to the winner's circle at the sport's biggest stage? Are we talking about Nicholas winning the Masters in the 90s, Tiger Woods from a couple of years ago? I mean, what would it mean as a sports story if Lucas were to pull this off?
I think your golf analogy makes sense if it, Nicholas or Arnie coming winning at 40 or 45. I think that is a good comparison. It would be a great narrative. I mean, obviously we don't have Baffert in this Derby, so having Lucas win this race. How old is he? 90 or 86? I think that would mean. Yeah, I think that would mean a lot. And think about this narrative. You might not have thought about this. What odds would you have had that Steve Asmussen's son Keith would get a Derby before Steve would? I mean, The way he was riding a year ago, I would have bet my life that that wouldn't happen. But he's improved quite a bit, and he's not a good finisher, but I think he's the smartest jockey in the country and the best judge of pace. So that's an advantage right there.
It's a great point. The irony too of Keith having this Derby mount with somebody other than his dad for the first one is just wild. So the key question, and we'll leave it with this one: what's the ceiling for Just Steel? How will you be using him in your wagers on Derby Day?
I think the main bets I will key him under in the third and fourth slots in your super and try. I'll sprinkle some win and a little money, maybe in the picks as a call it a C, but I don't think it's without a chance. But I'm not gonna, he's not a key on top for me. But I think he has a good shot of hitting the board at a nice price.
Not one to sleep on. And then there's also the fact that there's going to be all these other narratives that come out between when we're recording and now. If they don't have to do with him, he could be one who drifts. So I do think this story is going to get some traction and that you might see something in the 20s, but still sounds like that's quite usable for you. Clay, thank you so much for your time. We'll have you back very soon.
Sounds great, Pete. Good luck to everyone.